Siris. So really quick, I just went for a bit of a run. Don't really define myself as a runner at all. Actually, I was realizing this week that I've been defining myself as not a runner. I'm very much not a runner. And so I was like, well, that's still a definition, even though it has the word not in front of it. And so, I've been looking at all the places where I've been defining myself and letting all those definitions go to see what's actually true for me. And because any definition is a limitation in my interesting point of view. And so I was letting that go. And then as soon as I let it go, my body's like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to put ourselves in that box. Then let's go running. So I asked some more questions, and I got that my body would want me to run daily for 2 weeks. It was very specific about how many days, the 2 weeks. I was very curious about that, so we'll see what shows up. I'll continue to ask questions. But one of the things that showed up while I was running was I started getting this like ache in the bones on the top of my foot. And immediately I was like, okay, what's that? Is that mine? And as soon as I asked, is that mine? My shoulders went like this, like hunched over, like, ugh. And that's how the heavy, what's a lie, is heavy for you. What's true is light. It expands. And it shows up, what's light and heavy shows up really different every day for me. But today when I asked that, it was very clearly heavy. That's not yours. So I was like, okay, I'm returning that to sender with consciousness attached. And what that does is I return it to wherever and whoever that came from. And it's like this, all that crunchiness in my foot went away. And I was like, okay, awesome. Keep in running. I'm going to keep going though. And it had carried a lot more ease. And I recall that years ago, I totally would have been like, oh my gosh, I can't run anymore. I used to. That's part of why I didn't think of myself as a runner, because I would get pains on my side. I would get aches in my feet. I would have a really hard time breathing because of all these things that I was holding on to in my body that I was just awareness from other people and other things. And so now anytime there's something like that show up, I ask questions. I ask, is this mine? And as soon as I get a lightness, I'm like, oh, it is mine. Okay, let me see. Let me ask some more questions like, body, what do you need? Do you need water? Do you need a stretch right now? Do you need a break? Do you need to go and change scenery? What's going on there? And if I get a heaviness, I immediately now go return to sender with consciousness attached. So I'm going to pop in here every once in a while and do some videos on return to sender with consciousness attached, because there's so many different things that show up that we can just return. It's not just physical stuff. I've returned when all of a sudden I feel like I have a sense of anxiety, like, and I was like, this isn't my reality anymore. I don't have this anymore. What's going on here? Who is this mine? No? Okay, because even again, anxiety, I asked, and you see how my body immediately was like, nope. And it wasn't immediate for me. I didn't get light and heavy right away. I practiced, I built up the muscle of my awareness with this. And now I get the information really fast, really clearly, sometimes very, very loudly, like, no, it's not yours. Ah! So I'm going to play around with that some more in a more concentrated way. And if you want to join me on that journey, post a video and let me know what you're returning to sender each day. I'm kind of getting the number 44, like I'm going to do return to sender with consciousness attached for 44 days. And so if you want to join me on that, tag me on your video so I can comment on your stuff and have your back on your journey. And let me know what this brings up for you. Talk to you soon and have a great day wherever you are in the world.